Breaking free. How to escape the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle and build financial freedom. Introduction. You're not alone in this. Life in New York moves fast. The subway is crowded, the bills keep coming, and no matter how much you hustle, it feels like your paycheck disappears the moment it hits your account. Rent, groceries, credit cards, maybe a student loan, and suddenly you're back to counting the days until the next payday. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. In fact, millions of Americans, people with good jobs, college degrees, and side hustles are living paycheck to paycheck. Not because they're lazy or irresponsible, but because the cost of living keeps rising, while money never seems to stretch far enough. And here's the truth. Being stuck in that cycle is not a reflection of your worth. It's not because you're not working hard enough. It's because no one ever gave you the tools to break free. This audiobook is your guide to changing that. Over the next chapters, we're going to talk about money in a way that feels real, human, and possible. You won't hear complicated financial jargon. You won't be told to give up every coffee or every little joy that makes life worth living. Instead, you'll learn how to take control of your money step by step, building clarity, breaking bad cycles, and creating habits that actually stick. Most importantly, you'll learn how to shift your mindset. Because financial freedom isn't just about numbers. It's about believing you deserve more, that your story can change, and that you can create a life where money doesn't control you, you control it. So if you've ever felt stressed on payday, ashamed of your debt, or stuck in the grind of just getting by, this book is for you. Together, we'll explore not just how to survive, but how to thrive. And by the end, you'll see that financial freedom isn't a dream for someone else. It's a reality that can belong to you. Welcome to Breaking Free, How to Escape the Paycheck-to-Paycheck Cycle and Build Financial Freedom. Your journey starts now. Chapter 1. The Money Trap. Why you're always broke. Imagine working all month, getting your paycheck, and within days, it's gone. Bills, food, credit cards, rent, and maybe a night out to relieve the stress. Sound familiar? This is the paycheck-to-paycheck trap, and it's exhausting. The biggest cost isn't just financial, it's emotional. The constant anxiety of what if something happens wears you down. In this chapter, we'll break down why people get stuck in this cycle, from lifestyle inflation to rising city costs to hidden spending habits. You'll start to see the patterns. But most importantly, you'll learn that being broke doesn't mean you're broken. It means you need a new system. 1. Understanding the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. Picture this. It's Friday and your paycheck just hit your account. Relief washes over you because for a moment, you feel secure. But by Monday, that relief is gone. Rent or mortgage comes out. Bills are scheduled. Groceries and gas chip away at what's left. A friend invites you out for dinner, and you hesitate, but you say yes because you've been working hard all week and you deserve it. By the middle of the month, you're checking your balance daily, hoping it will stretch far enough. And by the end of the month, you're counting the days until payday again. That is the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, a constant loop where money arrives and disappears almost instantly. It's a cycle that keeps millions of hardworking people stuck, no matter how much they earn. In fact, surveys show that even people making over 6 figures often live this way because expenses and habits grow to match income. Living paycheck to paycheck doesn't just drain your wallet. It drains your energy, your focus, and your peace of mind. You're constantly worrying, constantly calculating, and constantly one emergency away from disaster. The truth is, the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle isn't just about money. It's about control. Right now, money is controlling you instead of you controlling it. And until you break that cycle, you'll always feel like you're running in place, no matter how fast you move. But here's the good news. cycles can be broken. And once you understand why this happens and how it traps you, you can begin to take steps, small, powerful steps towards financial freedom. 2. The emotional and psychological costs of financial stress. Money problems aren't just about not having enough cash in your account. They carry a heavy emotional price. Living paycheck to paycheck creates a constant undercurrent of anxiety. Every time your phone buzzes with a new bill notification, your chest tightens. Every time you swipe your card, you wonder if it'll go through. And every time you look at your bank balance, it feels like a reminder that you're not where you want to be. And that's the cruelest part. Financial stress convinces you that you're failing, even when you're working harder than ever. But let's pause here for a moment. If you've ever felt this way, it's not because you're weak or irresponsible. It's because you're human. Money touches everything: our security, our identity, even our sense of self-worth. So when money feels out of control, life feels out of control. Recognizing this emotional cost is the first step in changing it. Because breaking free from the paycheck-to-paycheck trap isn't only about building a better bank account. It's about reclaiming your peace of mind. So, 3. Common mistakes that keep people trapped. If you've ever wondered, why do I always end up back at zero? The answer often lies in the small, hidden traps we walk into every day. These traps aren't always obvious. In fact, they can feel normal, even justified. But over time, they keep us stuck in the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. Let's talk about the biggest ones. Lifestyle inflation. The moment your income increases, your spending grows right alongside it. You get a raise, and suddenly it feels like you deserve the nicer apartment, the new car, or the upgraded phone. Before you know it, the raise is gone, and your expenses are bigger than ever. Convenience spending. Fast food, food delivery apps, ride shares. They save time, but they eat away at your money faster than you realize. Small daily choices become big monthly leaks in your budget. Credit card dependency. Credit cards make it easy to spend money you don't have yet, and with interest rates climbing higher than ever, even a small balance can snowball into something that feels impossible to pay down. Here's the thing. Everyone makes these mistakes. They're part of modern life, especially in a fast-paced city like New York. But once you start recognizing them, you gain the power to make different choices. And those different choices are what open the door to breaking free. 4. Why earning more isn't always the solution. One of the biggest myths about money is this: if I could just make more, all my problems would disappear. On the surface, it makes sense. More income should mean more security, more comfort, and more freedom. But here's the truth. More money doesn't automatically fix the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. In fact, without the right habits, more income often makes the problem worse. Think about it. If you struggle to manage $3,000 a month, what happens when you make $6,000? At first, it feels like freedom, but soon new bills, bigger purchases, and higher expectations creep in. You move into a nicer place, buy better clothes, upgrade your lifestyle. Suddenly, the $6,000 disappears just as quickly as the $3,000 did. And now you're back in the same cycle, only at a higher level. This is why so many high earners still live paycheck to paycheck. They've mistaken income for wealth. But wealth isn't about how much you make. It's about how much you keep, grow, and control. Until that shift happens, no paycheck will ever feel big enough. So here's the key takeaway. Earning more can be part of the solution, but it can never be the only solution. The real breakthrough comes when you change how you handle what you already have. When you stop chasing for more and start building systems that protect your money, that's when financial freedom begins.
Chapter 2. Breaking the Chains. Shifting your mindset around money. Before you can change your bank account, you have to change your mind. The truth is, most money problems aren't caused by a lack of income. They're caused by a lack of clarity, confidence, and control. Think of your mindset as the software that runs your financial life. If the software is outdated or corrupted, it doesn't matter how much money flows in, the system will keep crashing. This chapter is about rewriting that software so you can finally take control of your financial future. 1. Why mindset matters more than math. Most people think money problems are solved with calculators and spreadsheets. Add up the income, subtract the bills, and find what's left. Simple, right? But if it were really just about math, no one with a good salary would be broke. No one with a financial plan would fall into debt. And yet, it happens every day. Why? Because the numbers are only half the battle. The real driver is mindset. Mindset is how you think about money, the beliefs, habits, and stories you've carried for years. Maybe you grew up hearing, money doesn't grow on trees, or people like us just don't get ahead. Those beliefs quietly shape how you spend, save, and earn, even when you don't realize it. Here's the truth. The way you think about money determines the way you use it. If you believe money is always scarce, you'll act out of fear, hoarding, overspending, or avoiding decisions. If you believe money is a tool, you'll start looking for ways to make it work for you. This is why two people with the same paycheck can live totally different lives. One feels trapped, the other builds freedom. The difference isn't math, it's mindset. And the moment you shift how you see money, you shift what's possible with money. 2. Identifying limiting beliefs about money. Your financial life isn't just shaped by the dollars in your wallet. It's shaped by the beliefs you carry about those dollars. These beliefs are like background music playing in your mind. You might not notice the tune, but it's influencing your mood, your decisions, and your actions every single day. And most of these beliefs, you didn't even choose them. You absorbed them from your parents, your community, or your past experiences. Let's explore 3 of the most common limiting beliefs about money. Scarcity mindset. Scarcity says there's never enough. This belief makes you see money as something fragile, something that slips away the moment you touch it. People with scarcity thinking tend to cling to every dollar, avoid new opportunities, and play life small. Even when an opportunity comes, a new job, a business idea, an investment, scarcity whispers, don't risk it, you'll lose everything. The problem with scarcity thinking is that it creates a self-fulfilling prophecy, because when you believe opportunities are limited, you stop looking for them. You don't see doors opening because you've already convinced yourself they're locked. Fear of risk. This belief often shows up as, if I try, I'll fail. It keeps you from starting the side hustle you've been dreaming about, from asking for the raise you deserve, or from investing in yourself. Instead, you play it safe. But that safety has a cost. It keeps you exactly where you are. The truth is, risk is unavoidable. Every decision has some risk attached to it. But not all risks are dangerous. Some are necessary for growth. Fear of risk freezes you in place and convinces you that staying stuck is safer than moving forward. Self-sabotage. This one is the trickiest because it hides in plain sight. Self-sabotage says, you don't deserve wealth. Maybe you've worked hard to pay off debt, and then suddenly you rack up a new balance. Or you save up a cushion only to spend it on something impulsive. Deep down, this belief whispers that no matter how hard you work, you're not worthy of financial freedom. Self-sabotage is powerful because it operates in the shadows. You don't even realize you're doing it until you're back at square one. Here's the good news. None of these beliefs are facts. They're not laws of nature. They're just stories you've told yourself or stories you inherited from others so many times that they feel true. And if a story is just a story, that means you can write a new one. The first step toward freedom is awareness. Once you identify the limiting beliefs running your life, you can challenge them. You can begin replacing them with beliefs that actually serve you, beliefs that point you toward growth instead of keeping you trapped in survival mode. 3. Shifting from scarcity to abundance thinking. Scarcity says there's never enough. Abundance says there's always a way. This shift in thinking is more than just staying positive. It's a new lens for seeing opportunities in places where scarcity only sees obstacles. Scarcity thinking keeps you stuck in survival mode, always worried, always protecting what little you think you have. Abundance thinking opens the door to growth, creativity, and possibility. Here's the difference in action. Scarcity says, I can't afford this, so it's impossible. Abundance says, how can I afford this? What creative solutions can I find? Scarcity sees a raise as, finally, I can breathe and cover my bills. Abundance sees a raise as, this is my chance to save more, invest more, and accelerate my freedom. Scarcity focuses on limits. There are no opportunities for people like me. Abundance focuses on possibilities. Opportunities are everywhere. I just need to open my eyes to them. When you practice abundance thinking, you begin to see doors that were always there, but hidden by fear. That side hustle idea that seemed too risky suddenly looks like a stepping stone. That networking event you once avoided becomes a chance to meet someone who could change your career. That savings account you thought could only hold a few dollars starts to grow because you believe it can. Abundance isn't about ignoring reality. It's about choosing to believe that reality can change. And when you carry that belief, you'll find yourself spotting opportunities that scarcity would have blinded you to. Chapter 3. Rewriting Your Money Story. Your relationship with money started long before your first paycheck. Maybe you grew up hearing, money doesn't grow on trees. Or maybe you watched your parents struggle with debt. These early lessons shape how you see money today. If you've ever felt guilty for wanting more or scared of making financial mistakes, it's likely tied to that money story. Here, we'll focus on changing the script. Through affirmations, visualizations, and mindset exercises, you'll learn to replace fear with confidence. Motivation isn't just about hype. It's about rewiring your beliefs. To win with money, you need to believe you deserve financial peace. 1. How childhood, culture, and environment shape money beliefs. Every story about money begins long before you earn your first paycheck. The way you think about money today was shaped years ago, in your home, in your community, and in the culture you grew up in. These early lessons created the script you've been following, often without realizing it. Think back to your childhood. What did you hear about money? Maybe your parents argued about bills and you learned that money is stressful. Or maybe you were told, we can't afford that, so you learned that money is always scarce. Or maybe you saw people with money being called greedy, so you grew up believing that wealth is something to be ashamed of. Culture plays a role too. In some communities, wealth is tied to status. Big houses, new cars, designer clothes. In others, being too focused on money is seen as selfish or unspiritual. And in certain environments, money isn't talked about at all, leaving you to figure things out through trial and error. Here's the problem. Those childhood lessons, cultural messages, and environmental influences don't just disappear when you become an adult. They live in the back of your mind, shaping how you earn, how you spend, and how you feel about money. You might overspend because you're trying to prove your worth, or you might avoid investing because you were taught that risk is dangerous. But here's the good news. Your money story is not permanent. Just because you inherited certain beliefs doesn't mean you have to keep them. The moment you recognize where your money story came from, you gain the power to rewrite it. This chapter is about taking back the pen, deciding which beliefs serve you and which ones you're ready to let go of. Because the truth is, financial freedom doesn't start in your bank account. It starts in your story. 2. Shifting from survival mode to growth mindset. When you've lived paycheck to paycheck for years, your brain gets wired into survival mode. In survival mode, your focus is simple. Make it through today. Cover the bills, stretch the paycheck, hope the car doesn't break down. Every decision feels urgent and heavy because the margin for error is razor thin. The problem with survival mode is that it traps you in short-term thinking. You're so focused on getting by that you never have the space to plan for the future. Saving feels impossible. Investing feels out of reach. And dreaming feels like a luxury you can't afford. But if survival mode keeps you stuck, the growth mindset sets you free. Growth mindset is about asking different questions. Instead of asking, how do I get through this week? You start asking, how can I use this week to set myself up for the future? Instead of saying, I can't afford it, you ask, what can I do to afford it? Here's the shift in thinking. Survival mode says, I need to hold on to every dollar because there's never enough. Growth mindset says, every dollar is a seed. If I plant it wisely, it will grow. Survival mode says, I can't take risks. I might lose what little I have. Growth mindset says, I can take smart risks because that's how I create more. Survival mode says, this is just how life is. Growth mindset says, life can change, and I have the power to change it. Shifting into a growth mindset doesn't mean ignoring your current reality. It means choosing to believe that your reality can change. It's about moving from a place of fear to a place of possibility. And the moment you start thinking in terms of growth instead of survival, you unlock the path to financial freedom. 3. Motivation exercise. Affirmations and visualizations for financial freedom. Here's the truth. Financial freedom starts in your mind long before it shows up in your bank account. If your inner story says, I'll always struggle with money, then even if you earn more, you'll find ways to slip back into struggle. That's why we need to retrain your thoughts with affirmations and visualizations. Let's start with affirmations. These are simple, powerful statements that replace your old money story with a new one. They're not magic spells. They're mental rewiring tools. By repeating them, you teach your brain to expect abundance instead of scarcity. Here are a few you can use daily. I am worthy of financial freedom. Money flows to me through multiple sources. I make wise decisions with my money. Every dollar I earn is a step toward my freedom. I deserve stability, wealth, and peace of mind. Say them out loud. Write them on sticky notes. Record them on your phone. Whatever helps you bring them into your daily routine. Now, let's add visualizations. This is where you close your eyes and picture the life you're working toward. Not just the numbers in your bank account, but the feelings. Imagine this. Waking up and knowing all your bills are covered. Seeing your savings account grow month after month. taking your family on that vacation without guilt or debt, buying your first home or paying it off faster than you dreamed. Feel it as if it's already real. Your brain doesn't fully distinguish between a vividly imagined scenario and reality. The more you practice seeing yourself financially free, the more your decisions in the present start aligning with that future. Affirmations rewire your beliefs. Visualization fuels your motivation. Together, they give you the mindset strength to keep moving forward, even when progress feels slow. In this chapter, we explored how your financial beliefs were shaped by childhood, culture, and your environment, and how those beliefs can quietly hold you back. We saw how survival mode keeps you trapped in short-term thinking, and how a growth mindset opens the door to possibility. Most importantly, we learned that your money story isn't fixed. Through daily practices like affirmations and visualizations, you can begin to rewrite the narrative, replacing fear and scarcity with confidence and abundance. Remember, financial freedom starts in your mind first. When you shift your beliefs and imagine the life you want, your actions and choices will naturally follow. Every small step you take today brings you closer to the future you deserve.
Chapter 4. The Power of Clarity, Tracking Every Dollar. Money disappears fastest when you don't know where it's going. Most people avoid tracking expenses because it feels boring or restrictive. But here's the truth. Clarity is power. When you see exactly where your money flows, you gain control, make better choices, and start plugging the leaks that drain your financial life. Tracking doesn't have to be complicated or intimidating. In this chapter, we'll explore simple ways to shine a light on your spending and reclaim control over your finances. 1. Why awareness is the first step. You can't fix what you don't measure. It sounds simple, but it's also one of the most overlooked truths about money. Most people feel frustrated with their finances, not because they lack income or intelligence, but because they don't really know where their money is going. Without awareness, your dollars slip through the cracks unnoticed. Suddenly, you can see patterns you never noticed before, small reoccurring purchases, subscriptions you forgot about, or little indulgences that add up month after month. This visibility isn't about judgment, it's about power. Knowledge gives you control. Awareness also creates accountability. Once you know where your money is going, decisions stop being automatic. Instead of mindlessly spending, you start asking yourself, do I really need this? Is this aligning with my financial goals? Can I redirect this money to something more meaningful? And here's the best part. You don't need hours of analysis to get started. Just 5 minutes of checking in each week can make a huge difference. That small, consistent effort shines a light on your habits, exposes the leaks, and gives you the clarity to make smarter, intentional choices. Awareness is the first step. Once you see clearly, everything else becomes possible, from budgeting to saving to investing. Without awareness, even the best intentions get lost in the shuffle. 2. Easy, non-boring methods to track expenses. Tracking your spending doesn't have to feel tedious or restrictive. The goal isn't to make your life miserable. It's to give you clarity and control. Here are simple, practical ways to track your money that actually stick. Apps. Use budgeting apps to log expenses automatically or manually. Many apps categorize spending for you, showing exactly where your money goes each month. Popular choices make tracking feel more like a game than a chore. Journaling. Write down
every expense in a notebook or a note-taking app. Seeing it on paper or on your screen makes spending real, not just a number disappearing from your account. Journaling also helps you reflect on patterns over time. Weekly reviews. Set aside 5 minutes each week to review your spending. Ask yourself questions like, where did I spend more than I expected? What could I have avoided? Where did I make good choices? This simple check-in builds awareness and reinforces accountability. The key is consistency over perfection. You don't need to track every penny obsessively. Start small, build the habit, and gradually you'll develop a clear picture of your money flow. Once you see the leaks, you can plug them and redirect that money towards your financial goals. Now that you understand why awareness matters and how to track your spending, it's time to put it into practice. This is a quick guided reflection, a simple exercise that only takes a few minutes but can reveal powerful insights about your money habits. Step 1. Get comfortable. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and relax your shoulders. Allow yourself to focus fully on your finances without judgment. Step 2. Recall your last paycheck. Picture it arriving in your account. Track it in your mind as it flows into different areas: bills, groceries, transportation, small purchases, and anything else you spent on. Step 3. Reflect on your spending. Ask yourself, where did my last paycheck really go? Were there any surprises? Which purchases were essential and which were avoidable? Step 4. Identify one small change. Notice patterns or leaks that could be plugged. Commit to one simple adjustment this week. For example, skipping a small reoccurring purchase, reducing dining out, or redirecting money towards savings. Step 5. Make it a habit. Repeat this reflection weekly. The more you practice, the more clarity you gain, and the easier it becomes to make intentional, empowered financial decisions. In this chapter, we learned that money can't be managed effectively if it's invisible. Tracking every dollar brings awareness, turns hidden leaks into visible data, and creates accountability for your financial decisions. We explored simple, non-boring ways to track spending, from apps and journaling to quick weekly reflections, and even practiced a guided activity to see where your last paycheck really went. Remember, clarity is power. When you understand exactly where your money flows, you gain the control needed to stop leaks, make intentional choices, and redirect funds towards your goals. Financial freedom begins with seeing clearly. The rest follows naturally. Chapter 5. Building a survival budget that actually works. Budgets get a bad rap. People think budgeting means cutting out everything fun. But a real budget isn't about punishment. It's about freedom. A good budget tells your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. We'll design a survival budget that works for New Yorkers. Realistic, flexible, and forgiving. Using the 50-30-20 rule as a base, you'll learn to prioritize essentials, manage wants, and still save a little. When done right, a budget feels like a plan for success, not a set of chains. 1. Creating an NYC-proof budget without feeling deprived. Living in a fast-paced, high-cost city like New York requires a different kind of budget. Rent is higher, food is pricier, and temptation is everywhere, from the corner coffee shop to last-minute concert tickets. If you try to cut out every joy, you'll feel deprived and eventually give up. That's why a survival budget in New York isn't about cutting everything fun. It's about designing a plan that respects both your needs and your lifestyle. Here's how to make it work. Don't eliminate joy. Plan for it. Build small luxuries into your budget: a weekly latte, a night out, or a subscription you enjoy. When fun is intentional, it doesn't derail your finances. Focus on balance, not perfection. Cover essentials first: rent, utilities, groceries, and transportation. Then prioritize savings, even if it's just a small amount. Finally, leave room for discretionary spending so you don't feel trapped. Think smart survival, not sacrifice. Swap expensive habits for cheaper alternatives. Cook at home 3 nights a week instead of dining out daily. Take advantage of free or low-cost entertainment in the city. Parks, museums on free days, community events. Small shifts add up without stripping away your lifestyle. Redefine what freedom looks like. A survival budget doesn't mean living small, it means living smart, enjoying the city while still building a financial foundation that supports your long-term goals. When you see your budget as a tool for freedom instead of restriction, it becomes easier to stick with it. In a city like New York, that mindset shift makes all the difference. 2. Separating needs versus wants. One of the most important steps in creating a survival budget is learning to separate your needs from your wants. This distinction shapes every financial decision you make. Without clarity, it's easy to justify overspending on things that feel urgent in the moment but aren't truly essential. Let's break it down. Needs are the essentials you must cover to survive and maintain basic stability. Rent or housing costs, utilities like electricity, water, and internet, groceries and basic household supplies, transportation to get to work or school, healthcare, and insurance. Wants are things that make life enjoyable but aren't strictly necessary. Dining out at restaurants or grabbing takeout daily. Streaming services, music subscriptions, or cable. Shopping for clothes, gadgets, or home decor beyond the basics. Vacations, weekend getaways, or expensive entertainment. Gray areas exist, and this is where honesty matters. Gym memberships, premium coffee, ride-sharing apps, or convenience-based services. These aren't essential for survival, but they may add value to your quality of life. The key question to ask yourself is, do I need this to survive, or do I just want it because it makes life easier or more fun? By clearly separating needs from wants, you can make better spending choices without guilt. Prioritize essentials first so you never fall behind on rent, bills, or healthcare. Recognize which wants are worth keeping in your budget and which ones you can reduce or eliminate temporarily. Clarity around needs versus wants isn't about depriving yourself. It's about empowering yourself. Once you know the difference, you can direct your money with intention instead of letting emotions or habits drive your spending. 3. The 50-30-20 rule simplified for Jessica's world. The 50-30-20 rule is one of the simplest and most effective frameworks for budgeting. It's not about spreadsheets and complicated formulas. It's about creating balance. Here's how it works in Jessica's world. 50% needs, housing or rent, utilities like electricity, water, and internet, groceries and basic household supplies, transportation to get to work or school, healthcare, and insurance. Wants are things that make life enjoyable but aren't strictly necessary. Dining out at restaurants or grabbing takeout daily, streaming services, music subscriptions or cable, shopping for clothes, gadgets, or home decor beyond the basics. Vacations, weekend getaways, or expensive entertainment. 20% savings and debt repayment. Building an emergency fund for unexpected expenses, contributing to retirement accounts, paying down debt faster than the minimum. Now, let's be honest. In New York City, housing alone often eats up more than 50% of take-home pay. That doesn't mean the rule doesn't work. It just means we have to adapt it. Here's how to stay flexible. If housing pushes your needs past 50%, balance by trimming your wants. That might mean fewer nights eating out, reducing subscriptions, or saying not now to big purchases. When saving 20% feels impossible right now, start smaller. Even 5 or 10% is progress. The habit matters more than the exact percentage. As income grows, Increase the savings portion instead of lifestyle spending. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. The 50-30-20 rule gives you a framework. Your job is to bend it around your reality, not to break yourself trying to fit into it. When applied with flexibility, this simple rule turns money from a source of stress into a tool for stability and freedom. 4. Motivation angle. Budgeting equals freedom, not punishment. Most people hear the word budget and think restriction, sacrifice, and saying no to everything fun. But that's the wrong perspective. A budget isn't about denial, it's about direction. It's not about saying no, it's about saying yes to what really matters. Here's how budgeting creates freedom instead of punishment. Every dollar you track and assign gives you control instead of chaos. Without a plan, money slips through your fingers. With a budget, you tell your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. Budgeting reduces stress. You no longer have to guess if you can cover bills. You know in advance that rent, utilities, and essentials are handled. That peace of mind alone is worth the effort. Budgeting funds your goals. When money is assigned, you're not just surviving paycheck to paycheck. You're building savings, paying off debt faster, and creating momentum toward financial freedom. True freedom comes from choice. The choice to save for opportunities instead of scrambling when they arise. The choice to spend guilt-free on the things you love because they're already in your plan. The choice to stop living in constant survival mode and step into financial confidence. A budget isn't a chain around your freedom. It's the key that unlocks it. Once you reframe budgeting as empowerment rather than punishment, it becomes a powerful tool you'll actually want to use. Budgeting isn't about restriction. It's about freedom, clarity, and choice. In New York, where every dollar counts, a survival budget helps you cover the essentials, enjoy small pleasures, and still make progress toward your goals. By creating a budget that works for your lifestyle, separating true needs from wants, using the 50-30-20 rule as a flexible guide, and remembering that budgeting equals freedom, not punishment, you'll stop feeling like money controls you and start feeling like you control your money. With your survival budget in place, you've built a foundation. Next, we'll explore how to get out of debt smarter and faster without the overwhelm. Chapter 6: Debt Detox, Taking Control One Payment at a Time. Debt is more than just numbers on a statement. It's emotional. It feels heavy, like a constant shadow that follows you. Credit cards, car loans, student debt, they don't just take money, they steal peace of mind. But here's the good news. Debt is not permanent, and you can take control. This chapter is about facing debt head-on, one step at a time. You'll discover proven strategies to pay it down, the psychology behind small wins, and how to shift from feeling trapped to feeling empowered. 1. The emotional weight of debt. Debt isn't just about numbers on a statement, it's emotional. It creeps into your thoughts, shapes your decisions, and sometimes even affects your sense of self-worth. For many people, debt feels heavier than the actual dollars owed. Stress. Every time a bill arrives or a payment is due, it triggers anxiety. You might find yourself lying awake at night, replaying numbers in your head, wondering how you'll ever get ahead. Shame. Debt often carries a hidden weight of embarrassment. People avoid talking about it with friends or family because they feel judged, like they failed somehow. Denial. When the burden feels too big, it's tempting to look away. Some stop opening bills altogether or avoid logging into their accounts because the numbers feel too painful to face. But here's the truth. Ignoring debt doesn't make it go away. It only makes it grow. Carrying debt can also make you feel like you're stuck working for the past instead of building your future. Every paycheck goes toward yesterday's expenses instead of tomorrow's dreams. It can feel like running on a treadmill, lots of effort, but no progress. The good news? The moment you acknowledge the emotions tied to your debt, you take back your power. Awareness is the first crack in the wall. Once you can face your debt without shame, you free up the mental and emotional energy to actually tackle it. Debt is not a reflection of your worth. It's a temporary circumstance. And just by being here, learning, and facing it head on, you're already shifting from powerless to powerful. Debt might be part of your past, but it doesn't have to define your future. The fact that you're listening, learning, and taking action right now means you've already started to rise above it. 2. Strategies, snowball versus avalanche explained simply. When it comes to paying off debt, there are two proven strategies that can help you take control. Think of them as two different workout plans. Both get you in shape, but the best one is the one you'll actually stick with. The snowball method. Start by paying off your smallest debt first, regardless of interest rate. Each time you wipe out a balance, you build momentum and confidence. It's like rolling a snowball down a hill. With every small win, it grows bigger and your motivation grows stronger. Example, if you owe $300 on one card and $2,000 on another, you'd crush the $300 first. Seeing it disappear gives you energy to attack the next one. The avalanche method. Focus on the debts with the highest interest rate first. This method saves you the most money in the long run because you're tackling the most expensive debt. Example, if one card charges 25% interest and another charges 10%, you'd go after the 25% card first, even if it's the bigger balance. Here's the key. There's no wrong choice. If you need quick wins to stay motivated, the snowball method may be your best fit. If you're laser focused on saving money over time, the avalanche method is your path. The smartest strategy is the one you'll stick with consistently. Debt repayment is a marathon, not a sprint. Progress, no matter which method you choose, is still progress, and every payment moves you closer to freedom. 3. Micro successes, celebrating each small payoff. One of the most powerful parts of paying off debt is realizing that every win counts. You don't have to wait until the last dollar is gone to feel successful. Every debt cleared is a victory, even if it's just a $200 balance or a lingering bill you've carried for months. Knocking it out sends a surge of confidence through your system. Micro successes fuel motivation. Each time you pay something off, you prove to yourself that progress is possible. That spark of belief is often what keeps you going when the journey feels long. Celebrate progress wisely. Reward yourself when you hit milestones, but do it in a way that doesn't sabotage your progress. That could be a simple movie night with friends, treating yourself to your favorite meal, taking a long, peaceful walk in the park, or even just writing "paid in full" on a sticky note and slapping it on your fridge as a badge of honor. Momentum is your secret weapon. Progress compounds like interest, but in a positive way. Each small success builds energy for the next one. Before you know it, those little wins stack into something massive. And one day you'll look back and realize you've climbed a mountain one step at a time. Here's the takeaway. Debt freedom isn't built in giant leaps. It's built in small, steady steps, and every step forward deserves to be recognized. 4. Motivational pep talk. Debt doesn't define you. Debt is something you have, not who you are. It's a circumstance, not an identity. Yet, for many people, debt feels like a label, a permanent mark of failure. That couldn't be further from the truth. You're not alone. Countless people, including many who are now wealthy and financially free, once carried heavy debt loads. They didn't stay stuck. Neither will you. Your worth isn't tied to your balance. Whether you owe $500 or $50,000, it doesn't change your value as a person. It simply reflects choices and circumstances that can be rewritten. The hole doesn't matter. The shovel does. What matters isn't how deep the debt feels right now, but that you've picked up the tools to dig out. Every payment, every decision, every step forward is proof that you're climbing. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not doomed. What you are is capable. Capable of creating a new financial story. Capable of taking control and capable of building freedom one payment at a time. Debt may be part of your past, but it doesn't have to define your future. The fact that you're listening, learning, and taking action right now means you've already started to rise above it. Debt is heavy, but it doesn't have to hold you down forever. In this chapter, you learned debt carries emotional weight, stress, shame, and denial, but facing it is the first step to freedom. The snowball method builds momentum with quick wins, while the avalanche method saves you money by tackling high-interest debt. Celebrating micro successes keeps your motivation alive and reminds you that every step counts. Most importantly, debt doesn't define you. It's something you have, not who you are. Every payment you make is a choice to reclaim your power. And with consistency, those small steps will add up to something life-changing. Next, we'll turn from debt to the future, learning how to build an emergency cushion that protects you from falling back into the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle.
Chapter 7. The Discipline of Saving, even on a tight budget. Saving often feels impossible when you're already stretched thin. But the truth is, saving isn't about big numbers. It's about small, consistent habits that build over time. Even $5 or $10 a week can start to shift your financial story. In this chapter, we'll explore practical saving hacks that fit into a New Yorker's fast-paced lifestyle. Automation, roundup apps, and linking saving to habits you already have. You'll also see that saving isn't only about money, it's about peace of mind. An emergency fund doesn't just protect your wallet, it protects your mental health. 1. Starting small, $5 or $10 a week. A lot of people put off saving because they believe it only matters if the number is big. They think, what difference does $5 make? I'll wait until I have more. But that's the trap. Saving isn't about waiting. It's about starting. It's not the amount, it's the habit. Putting away $5 or $10 a week may feel small, but it's proof that you can save. And proof builds confidence. Tiny amounts stack up. $5 a week turns into $260 in a year. $10 a week? Over $500. That's half a month's rent for some people, or a major buffer against surprise expenses. Momentum matters more than size. Once you start, you'll see that saving is possible, and that shift turns I can't save into I am saving. The first step is symbolic. It's you saying, I believe in my future enough to set something aside today. And once you build that habit, increasing the amount later feels natural, like turning up the volume on a song you already love. The truth is, nobody ever regrets starting small. They only regret not starting at all. 2. Emergency fund as a mental relief fund.
Most people think of an emergency fund as just numbers in a savings account. But the truth is, it's not only financial, it's deeply emotional. It's about the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a safety net. Even a small cushion matters. You don't need thousands of dollars to start feeling secure. Just $200 can cover a surprise utility bill. $500 might handle a car repair. $1,000 can turn a financial crisis into a minor inconvenience. It reduces panic spending. Without a backup, the moment something goes wrong, like a broken phone, a flat tire, or a medical bill, stress kicks in. That stress often leads to poor choices like running up credit cards or borrowing at high interest. A cushion buys you calm. It creates peace of mind. Knowing you have something set aside changes the way you walk through life. Instead of living on edge, you can make financial decisions with confidence, not fear. Here's the truth. Your emergency fund isn't just about protecting your bank account. It's about protecting your mental health. When you know you're covered for life's what-ifs, you stop living in survival mode and start breathing easier. 3. Habit stacking, tying savings to routines. One of the easiest ways to make savings stick is to connect it to things you already do every day. This is called habit stacking, pairing a new behavior with an old routine so it becomes natural instead of forced. Roundup apps make saving invisible. Every time you swipe your card for coffee, groceries, or the subway, the app rounds the purchase up to the nearest dollar and drops the difference into savings. Buy a $3.60 coffee, 40 cents goes straight into your account, and you don't even feel it. Think of it as paying your future self first. Automatic transfers put saving on autopilot. On payday, set up a small transfer to savings before you even see the money in your checking account. If you never touch it, you won't miss it. Think of it as paying your future self first. Pair savings with daily rituals. For example, every time you make your morning coffee, move $1 into savings. Or, after your weekly grocery run, transfer $5. Tying the habit to something you already do makes it second nature. When saving is built into your routine, it stops feeling like an extra task. It becomes automatic, as natural as brushing your teeth or checking your phone. Over time, those small, invisible moves stack into something powerful. The secret is this: the less effort it takes to save, the more likely you'll keep doing it. 4. Mindset. Pay yourself first equals honoring your future self. Most people pay everyone else first: the landlord, the utility company, the credit card, the grocery store, and then hope something is left. The problem is, there's rarely anything left. That's why the golden rule of saving is simple: pay yourself first. Saving is an act of respect. Every time you set money aside, you're honoring your future self, the version of you that wants freedom, stability, and peace of mind. Treat savings like a bill. Just like rent or electricity, your savings should be non-negotiable. It doesn't matter if it's $10, $50, or $100. What matters is that you build the habit of making yourself a priority. Every dollar saved is a vote. Every time you move money into savings, you're casting a vote for independence, security, and opportunity. You're saying, I believe my future is worth investing in. When you shift your mindset to paying yourself first, saving stops feeling optional. It becomes a form of self-care, like eating well or getting enough sleep. And over time, those small, consistent votes for your future add up to real financial freedom. Remember, if you don't put yourself first, nobody else will. Saving on a tight budget isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. Even if it's just $5 a week, every step forward builds momentum. Your emergency fund becomes a cushion against life surprises, your habits make saving automatic, and your mindset shifts towards honoring your future self. Remember, saving is not about deprivation. It's about creating room to breathe, to feel secure, and to trust that you're building something better $1 at a time. But here's the truth. Cutting expenses and saving smarter can only take you so far. At some point, the fastest way to accelerate your financial progress is to increase your income. That's where we're headed next. In Chapter 8, we'll explore side hustles, hidden income streams, and creative ways to bring in extra cash without burning yourself out. Because when you pair smart saving with new income, you unlock the fastest path to debt freedom and financial confidence. Chapter 8: Side Hustles and Hidden Income. New York is a city of constant motion, people, ideas, and opportunities everywhere you turn. In today's economy, creativity and flexibility often matter as much as traditional 9-to-5 jobs. That's why side hustles have become such a powerful tool for building financial breathing room. A side hustle doesn't have to mean working yourself to exhaustion. Instead, it's about finding smart, sustainable ways to use your skills, interests, or extra hours to create income streams. Whether it's a few $100s a month or eventually building into something bigger, side hustles can help bridge the gap between just surviving and actually saving. We'll look at real-world examples from freelancing to rideshare driving to selling digital products and show you how everyday people turn small steps into steady money. You'll also learn how to protect yourself from common mistakes like underpricing your work or chasing every hustle until you burn out. 1. Opportunities in NYC: freelance, gig apps, and digital skills. New York City is one of the best places in the world to find extra ways to earn money. With its massive population, constant demand for services, and thriving digital economy, opportunities are everywhere, both offline and online. The key is knowing where to look and matching your hustle to your lifestyle. Freelancing and service platforms. NYC runs on freelancers. Websites like Upwork, Fiverr, and TaskRabbit connect you to people who need everything from blog posts and website design to furniture assembly and moving help. TaskRabbit alone is huge in the city. Many New Yorkers don't have cars or time, which means they'll pay someone else to run errands, deliver groceries, or even hang shelves. These platforms let you set your own rates, choose your projects, and scale up at your own pace. Gig apps for fast cash. If you want flexibility, gig apps like Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, and Instacart let you earn on your schedule. The trick in New York is learning the rhythm of the city. Driving rideshares pays best during rush hours, late nights, and weekends. Food delivery spikes around lunch and dinner, especially in dense neighborhoods like Midtown or Williamsburg. Grocery delivery thrives in areas with busy professionals or families. By planning around these peaks, you can maximize your income without working all day. Digital skills that pay anywhere. The digital economy means you don't even have to leave your apartment to earn. If you have skills in social media management, graphic design, tutoring, writing, or video editing, you can work for clients across the globe right from your laptop. Online tutoring, for example, is booming, whether it's helping kids with math homework or teaching adults English as a second language. Creative skills like photography editing or podcast production are also in high demand. In a city where the cost of living is high, tapping into these opportunities can help you build extra breathing room in your budget. Whether you're running errands for neighbors, driving during peak hours, or building an online portfolio, New York rewards those who take initiative. 2. Turning talents into extra cash. The easiest side hustles don't start with learning something brand new. They start with what you're already good at. The key is to notice what skills or knowledge others already value in you, and then package that into a service or product. Ask yourself, what do people already come to me for? Do friends ask you for cooking advice or recipes? That could become meal prep services, cooking classes, or even a recipe blog. Are you the go-to tech fixer? Turn that into phone repair, setting up smart devices, or offering basic computer lessons. Do people admire your creative side, artwork, music, or fashion sense? That could be commissioned art, teaching lessons, or reselling curated thrift finds. What feels natural to you might feel overwhelming to others, and they'll gladly pay for your help. Local NYC opportunities that pay well. Dog walking is always in demand, especially in neighborhoods with busy professionals. Many walkers build client lists that generate steady weekly income. Babysitting or tutoring pays premium rates in the city, especially if you specialize in subjects like math, science, or test prep. Organizing or cleaning services are valued in small NYC apartments where people crave order but don't have the time. Local hustles take advantage of the density of the city. Once you help one client, word of mouth can spread quickly. Expanding skilled online for global reach. Create digital downloads like planners, templates, or checklists that sell on Etsy or Gumroad. Write and publish ebooks or guides that solve common problems like budgeting tips, fitness routines, or niche hobbies. Offer online workshops or coaching via Zoom, cooking lessons, fitness training, language tutoring, or even career advice. The beauty of digital hustles is scalability. One effort, like making a digital product, can keep earning money while you sleep. By rethinking your everyday talents and turning them into services or products, you create new income streams without starting from zero. You're not reinventing yourself. You're simply monetizing what you already do well. 3. Warnings. Avoid burnout. Hustle smart, not harder. The hustle culture can sometimes glamorize always grinding, but burning yourself out defeats the purpose. Your hustle should fuel your financial goals while leaving enough energy to enjoy life. Set boundaries before you begin. Decide in advance how many hours per week you're realistically willing to give. For example, maybe it's 5 to 10 hours a week, not every spare minute. Protect your rest, relationships, and health. A hustle that costs your well-being is too expensive. Remember, the goal is supplementing your income, not replacing your life. Avoid underpricing yourself. Many beginners charge too little because they're afraid people won't pay. But if you undervalue your work, you'll work more for less, a fast path to exhaustion. Do the math. Know what your time is worth, even if you're just starting out. It's okay to start modestly, but make sure your rates still respect your effort. A good rule of thumb is if your hustle pays less than minimum wage, after factoring in your time and expenses, it's not sustainable. Work smarter, not harder. Choose hustles that align with your skills, schedule, and energy. For example, a night owl might thrive on late-night freelance work, but struggle with early morning deliveries. Automate or streamline whenever possible. Use scheduling apps, templates, or tools that save you time. Focus on hustles that scale over time, like digital products, instead of those that always trade hours for dollars. Burnout kills motivation, but when you hustle smart, with clear boundaries, fair pricing, and efficient choices, your side hustle becomes an empowering tool instead of another burden. 4. Inspiration. Ordinary people who grew small side hustles into main income. Every big success usually begins with a small, almost ordinary step. The difference is consistency, creativity, and the courage to keep going. Small beginnings matter. Many thriving businesses started with a single freelance project, a modest Etsy shop, or even one YouTube video. The early stages rarely look glamorous. They're about testing ideas, learning skills, and building confidence. Real-life examples. A New York teacher who started tutorless kids after school eventually built an online education business, reaching students worldwide. A part-time rideshare driver used extra cash to pay off debt, then reinvested into launching their own small delivery company. A hobby crafter selling handmade jewelry on Etsy grew it into a profitable brand after consistently reinvesting earnings and promoting on social media. The key takeaway: You don't need $1 million idea to start. You need to start where you are, with the skills or opportunities already in front of you. Stay consistent, improve step by step, and let momentum do the heavy lifting. The lesson is clear. Side hustles are less about luck and more about discipline plus persistence. Ordinary people with ordinary beginnings can and do build extraordinary results. Side hustles and hidden income aren't about chasing every gig out there. They're about creating new streams of opportunity and giving yourself breathing room. When you use your skills wisely, set boundaries, and stay consistent, even a small hustle can spark big financial change. But here's the catch. Earning more only matters if you keep more. Many people boost their income only to watch it slip away through overspending, lifestyle creep, or hidden money leaks. That's why the next step is just as crucial as hustling. Learning how to escape the spending traps that quietly drain your progress. Chapter 9: Escaping the Spending Traps. In a city where everything screams, "Buy me now," it's easy to overspend without even realizing it. Ads on every corner, influencers showing off curated lifestyles, and social pressure from friends can make you feel like you need the newest clothes, the nicest dinner, or the latest gadget. But often, these purchases drain your wallet without adding real joy or progress to your life. This chapter is about learning to spot those spending traps before they catch you. You'll understand how marketers target your emotions, how social pressure influences your choices, and, most importantly, how to protect your money with awareness and confidence. You'll also learn how to say no to FOMO and yes to long-term freedom. When you know the traps, you can walk right past them. 1. Social pressure in big cities. Dining out, fashion, lifestyle comparison. Living in a fast-paced city comes with the culture of constant spending. You see people going out nightly, dressing in the latest trends, traveling often, and documenting everything online. That environment can make overspending feel normal, even expected. In New York, grabbing drinks after work or eating out 5 nights a week feels normal, but those small expenses add up fast. When everyone around you is doing it, it doesn't feel like a luxury anymore, but your bank account still feels it. These daily habits can quietly eat into your savings without you noticing. Fashion trends move quickly, and it's tempting to keep up with every new drop, sale, or influencer look. Social media makes it feel like you're falling behind if you don't refresh your wardrobe constantly. But trends are designed to move fast, so you keep spending. Social comparison is a trap. Just because your friends take expensive vacations or rent luxury apartments doesn't mean you need to match them. People rarely show the debt behind the lifestyle. Comparing your real life to someone else's highlight reel is a losing game. Ask yourself, does this spending align with my goals, or am I just trying to keep up appearances? Pausing to question your intentions is one of the most powerful tools you have. Spending should create value, not pressure. 2. Tricks marketers use. How to resist. Marketers are experts at making you feel like you're missing out, falling behind, or not good enough without their product. The more you understand their tactics, the easier it becomes to resist them. Scarcity tactics like "only 3 left in stock" creates fake urgency. Pause before buying. If it's still worth it tomorrow, it's not urgent. Urgency is designed to shut down your logical thinking and trigger impulse buying. A simple 24-hour pause breaks the spell and gives your brain time to reset. If the item sells out, chances are it'll be restocked. Scarcity is often engineered, not real. Lifestyle promises. Ads don't sell products, they sell a dream. That new phone won't fix your confidence or relationships. Marketers want you to associate products with identity, status, and belonging. They use happy models, luxury settings, and polished visuals to suggest that buying equals upgrading your life. But a product can't give you self-worth. It just gives the company profit. Subscriptions that sneak in. Free trials turn into monthly charges you forget about. Audit them regularly. Automatic payments are silent budget killers because they drain you without you noticing. Many companies rely on you being too busy or embarrassed to cancel. Set a calendar reminder to review subscriptions monthly and cancel ruthlessly. Fight back by setting rules, a 24-hour wait rule before non-essential purchases or unsubscribing from marketing emails that tempt you. Systems protect you when your emotions run high and impulse temptation kicks in. The less temptation you see, the fewer decisions you have to make, which means you save more without even trying. Unsubscribing is not deprivation, it's removing noise so you can stay focused on your goals. 3. Building resilience against FOMO. FOMO is one of the biggest drivers of overspending today. When everyone online seems to be doing something exciting, it's easy to feel like you're missing out if you don't join. Fear of missing out, FOMO, is powerful, whether it's a concert, new gadget, or a group trip. But remember, saying no now often means saying yes to bigger opportunities later. You're not rejecting fun. You're choosing long-term freedom, stability, and peace. Most FOMO spending comes from emotion, not genuine desire. Pause, breathe, and check in with your goals. When you remember what you're working towards, it becomes easier to let go short-term temptations pass. Replace FOMO with JOMO, the joy of missing out. Enjoy the peace and progress that comes from not chasing every trend. JOMO is about embracing the power of slowing down and enjoying your life as it is. It shifts your focus from what others are doing to what you are building. When you stop chasing every event, sale, or upgrade, you gain clarity, confidence, and control. Build your own fun that doesn't break your budget. Free events, potluck dinners, exploring your city's hidden gems. You don't need to spend big money to live a full, joyful life. New York is full of free concerts, museums, parks, and community events. Take advantage. Creativity beats consumption. Create memories, not bills. When you choose connection and experience over spending, your social life becomes richer, not your credit card balance. 4. Motivation. True wealth is freedom, not flexing. This final section is about shifting your mindset from looking rich to becoming secure, stable, and free. Real wealth isn't about looking rich, it's about being free. Freedom means choices, where you live, how you work, what you prioritize. It's the ability to walk away from situations that don't serve you, jobs, leases, commitments, because you're not financially trapped. Freedom is not stressing when rent is due or having the flexibility to take a vacation without debt. Peace of mind is worth more than any luxury purchase or status symbol. When you're financially steady, your entire life feels lighter. Decision-making becomes clearer, stress fades, and confidence rises. Flexing impresses people for a moment, but freedom changes your life forever. Likes disappear, trends fade, people forget, but stability, savings, and long-term options stay with you. Flexing drains your bank account. Freedom builds your future. Every time you resist a spending trap, you're not depriving yourself. You're investing in your independence. Every no today becomes a bigger yes tomorrow. You're not missing out, you're leveling up. Escaping spending traps isn't about depriving yourself. It's about taking back control in a world designed to push you into constant buying. When you understand the pressures, the marketing tricks, and your own triggers, you can choose differently. Every mindful decision strengthens your financial confidence. Now that you know how to protect your money from the outside influences trying to pull it away, the next step is working on the inside, your beliefs, habits, and mindset. Chapter 10 is all about resetting your money identity so you can stay motivated, stay consistent, and build a future you're proud of. Chapter 10, Money Mindset Reset. When progress is slow, it's easy to get discouraged. That's why building a new money identity is so powerful. You're not just someone trying to save, you're a wealth builder in training. This chapter is about strengthening your inner drive using simple mindset tools, journaling, affirmations, gratitude, and shifting how you see yourself. Because financial freedom isn't built overnight. It grows day by day, habit by habit, with a mindset strong enough to support the journey. 1. Daily habits, gratitude journaling, money affirmations. Mindset isn't just thinking positively. It's consistently training your brain to see progress, possibility, and growth. Small daily habits create a mental environment where financial success feels achievable instead of overwhelming. 1. Gratitude journaling. Write down 3 things daily you're grateful for, especially progress in your money journey, no matter how small. Gratitude keeps your focus on growth instead of lack. When you acknowledge wins, even tiny ones, you reduce shame and stress around money. Gratitude interrupts negative thought patterns like, I'll never get ahead, and replaces them with, I am moving forward. Money affirmations. Replace limiting beliefs with empowering statements like, I am capable of building wealth, or I respect my money and my money respects me. Affirmations rewire old stories about money like, I'm bad with finances, into new beliefs that support action. When used daily, they strengthen confidence and reduce financial anxiety. These habits train your brain to see money not as a stressor, but as a tool for freedom. Over time, your emotional relationship with money shifts from fear to clarity, from avoidance to ownership. By grounding yourself in gratitude and positive money beliefs, you build a mental foundation strong enough to support every financial goal you pursue. 2. How to stay motivated when progress feels slow. Financial transformation isn't dramatic, it's gradual. And that slow pace can feel discouraging unless you learn how to keep your motivation steady through the ups and downs. Progress is rarely linear. Some weeks you save, some weeks you slip. That's normal. Life happens, budgets shift, unexpected expenses pop up. The goal isn't perfection, it's resilience. Focus on process over perfection. Consistency matters more than one-off wins. Success comes from showing up repeatedly, even in small ways. A $10 deposit every week beats a random $200 deposit once a month. Celebrate micro milestones. The first $100 saved, the first debt payment cleared, the first month you stick to your budget. Small wins create momentum and boost confidence. Each milestone proves you can do this. Slow progress is still progress. Momentum builds over time like compound interest in your motivation. Just as money grows quietly, so does discipline, confidence, and financial strength. When you embrace slow progress as part of the journey, motivation becomes easier to maintain, and you learn to trust that every step forward counts. 3. Shifting identity from broke and stuck to wealth builder. Your financial habits are shaped by your identity, the story you believe about yourself. If you want different results, you must begin with a different identity. The language you use about yourself matters. Stop saying, I'm terrible with money. Start saying, I'm learning to master my money. Your words create your expectations. When you speak like a wealth builder, you behave like a wealth builder. Identity drives behavior. When you see yourself as a wealth builder, you naturally make choices that align with growth. You become more intentional with spending. You save because that's what wealth builders do. You invest because you trust your future self. This shift isn't just motivational fluff. It's rewiring how you approach every decision, from spending to saving to investing. A new identity shapes your habits, and habits shape your financial reality. When you stop identifying as broke and start seeing yourself as a wealth builder, every financial choice becomes an act of alignment with the person you're becoming. Mindset is the engine behind every financial win. When you strengthen your beliefs, celebrate progress, and step into a new money identity, everything else becomes easier. Budgeting, saving, paying off debt, and even investing. You're not just improving numbers on a spreadsheet. You're transforming your relationship with money and becoming someone who is capable, confident, and committed. By doing this inner work, you've built the foundation every financial journey needs. You're no longer operating from fear or frustration. You're making decisions from clarity and confidence, grounded in the identity of a true wealth builder. This shift is powerful because once your mindset aligns with your goals, the rest of the journey feels more natural and less overwhelming. With this mindset in place, you're ready for the next step, learning how to make your money grow. In the next chapter, we'll break down investing in the simplest, most safe, most approachable way possible, so you can start planting the seeds of real, long-term wealth without fear. Chapter 11. Investing without fear. Investing often sounds intimidating, like it's only for wealthy insiders on Wall Street. But the truth is, investing has never been more accessible. You don't need to be rich, brilliant with numbers, or have a financial advisor on speed dial to get started. Today, anyone with a smartphone and a few dollars can begin planting the seeds of wealth. Thinking it like a garden. You don't plant a forest overnight. You start with a few seeds, nurture them with consistency, and give them time to grow. This chapter breaks down investing into simple, approachable steps so you can begin with confidence and avoid the overwhelm that often stops beginners. 1. Simplified intro to stocks, index funds, retirement accounts. Investing terminology can feel confusing, but you don't need a finance degree to start. Here's a simple breakdown of the key tools. Stocks, buying shares in a company. You own a piece of the business, and as it grows, so does your investment. Stocks offer growth potential, but can fluctuate in value. Owning shares connects you to real companies rather than abstract numbers. Index funds, bundles of many stocks combined into one package. They spread out risk and are easier for beginners because you don't have to pick winners. Diversification lowers the chance that one company's failure will destroy your portfolio. Low-cost index funds let your money work quietly in the background. Retirement accounts, 401k, IRA, special accounts with tax benefits designed to help your money grow for the long term. Many employers match contributions, which is like free money. Contributions grow tax-deferred or tax-free depending on the account type. Keep it simple. You don't need to know every detail. Start with broad, low-cost index funds and let them grow steadily. Understanding these basic tools removes fear. Investing doesn't require complexity. It requires consistency and patience. 2. Why you don't need to be rich to start. Many people delay investing because they believe it's only for the wealthy. That's a myth that could cost decades of growth. Old myth. Investing is for people with thousands of dollars. New reality. Apps now let you buy fractional shares, meaning you can invest with as little as $5 or $10. Fractional shares let small investors participate in the market without waiting to save huge sums of money. Consistency beats size. Regular small contributions grow more than big, inconsistent ones. Even tiny weekly investments become significant over time thanks to compound growth. The earlier you start, the more time compounds your money. Starting small today beats starting big later. Time is one of the most powerful forces in investing. The sooner you begin, the greater your advantage. You don't need wealth to begin. You need a plan and the discipline to start. Even modest investments compound into meaningful results over years. 3. Audio-friendly metaphor, planting money seeds. Investing works best when visualized as nurturing a garden rather than gambling at a casino. Picture your money like seeds in a garden. Each dollar you invest is a seed planted today that can grow for years. The longer it stays in the ground, the deeper the roots and the bigger the growth. Early investment allows time for compounding interest to work quietly in your favor. Some seasons will have storms. Market dips are normal, but healthy plants bounce back stronger. Short-term fluctuations are normal. Patience ensures resilience. Your job isn't to dig up the seeds every day to check on them. It's to plant consistently, water regularly, and let time do its magic. Overchecking can lead to panic decisions. Consistency is the key. Thinking of investments as seeds removes fear and encourages long-term perspective. Growth takes time, and that's okay. 4. Encouragement. Even small, consistent investing builds wealth. Starting small is better than waiting for perfection. Momentum matters more than timing. Don't wait until you have enough. Starting now matters more than waiting for the perfect moment. Action beats hesitation every time. Think long term. A few dollars invested weekly can become thousands over decades. Small, steady contributions compound powerfully with time. Investing isn't about gambling or chasing quick wins. It's about steady, patient growth. Focus on consistency, not timing the market. Every small step proves I'm building wealth. I'm creating freedom for my future self. Each contribution reinforces your identity as a wealth builder and builds confidence. Small, consistent investing is not trivial. It's the foundation of financial freedom. Investing doesn't have to be intimidating or reserved for the wealthy. By understanding the basics, starting small, and viewing your money as seeds to nurture over time, you can grow your wealth steadily and confidently. You've now learned how to plant and nurture your financial future. The next step is protection, ensuring that unexpected life events don't undo your progress. In Chapter 12, we'll cover how to build a financial safety net with emergency funds, insurance, and strategies that give you confidence and security to take risks without fear. Chapter 12. Building a Financial Safety Net. Life has a way of throwing curveballs. One month, everything feels steady, and the next, you're hit with a medical bill, a job loss, or a broken car that needs fixing yesterday. Without a safety net, even a small setback can erase years of progress. But here's the good news. With preparation, you don't have to live in fear of the unexpected. Instead of walking a financial tightrope, you'll have a net underneath you, strong enough to catch you when life gets rough. This isn't about living scared. It's about building enough security that you can face the unknown with confidence. 1. Emergency funds, your first line of defense. An emergency fund is money set aside for true surprises, not vacations, not shopping, but things like car repairs, medical expenses, or a job interruption. Start small. Aim for $500 to $1,000 at first. That alone can cover most urgent short-term problems. Even a small cushion removes panic and gives you breathing room. Long-term goal: build 3 to 6 months worth of essential living expenses. Losing a job doesn't mean catastrophe. You're buying yourself time and options. Pro tip: keep this fund in a separate savings account so it's accessible but not tempting to spend. Separation prevents accidental depletion and reinforces discipline. An emergency fund is the foundation of financial resilience. Even a modest amount immediately reduces stress and protects your progress. 2. Insurance basics: protecting what matters most. Insurance is like renting a bigger safety net. You hope you'll never need it, but if disaster strikes, it can save your finances. Health insurance is essential. Medical bills are the #1 cause of bankruptcies in the U.S. Coverage protects you from catastrophic costs that can wipe out savings. Auto insurance is required if you drive, but make sure your coverage fits your lifestyle. Adequate coverage prevents financial devastation in accidents. Renters or homeowners insurance protects your home and belongings from accidents or disasters. Theft, fire, or water damage won't leave you financially exposed. Life insurance: if people depend on your income, this ensures they're cared for if something happens to you. It provides peace of mind that your loved ones are financially secure. The key is, don't overinsure everything, but do protect against risks that would truly derail your life. Focus on high-impact coverage rather than unnecessary extras. Insurance is not an expense, it's a shield. Proper coverage allows you to face life confidently, knowing a single event won't destroy your finances. 3. Planning for uncertainty. Even with savings and insurance, proactive planning strengthens your safety net. List your biggest what-ifs: job loss, health issues, unexpected travel, family emergencies. Identifying potential threats brings clarity rather than fear. Decide how you'd handle each one. Which ones are covered by your emergency fund? Which need insurance? Which can be avoided with planning? Creating contingency plans reduces stress and eliminates guesswork. This isn't paranoia, it's preparation. When you have a plan, the unknown loses its power to scare you. Confidence comes from readiness, not luck. Anticipating and planning for uncertainties transforms anxiety into control. You're no longer at the mercy of life's surprises. You're ready for them. 4. Motivation. Safety equals confidence equals freedom to take risks. Financial safety isn't just protection, it's empowerment. Less stress about daily decisions. Knowing you can handle emergencies reduces anxiety around spending and saving. Confidence in your foundation allows more mindful choices. Take smart risks. Career changes, starting a business, or moving to a new city become possible without constant fear. Freedom to act comes from security, not luck. Real financial freedom isn't just wealth. It's the peace of knowing life can knock you down and you'll still land on your feet. True freedom is resilience in action. Building a financial safety net isn't just about money. It's about living boldly, knowing you have a strong foundation to support your ambitions. By creating an emergency fund, securing proper insurance, and planning for the unexpected, you've built a safety net that shields your progress and gives you confidence. With this foundation, you're no longer reacting to life's surprises. You're ready to face them with calm and control. Now that you're protected, it's time to focus on the long-term vision. In Chapter 13, we'll explore how to move from mere survival to abundance, turning consistent habits, smart planning, and disciplined action into a life of financial freedom, options, and true wealth. Chapter 13: The Long Game: From Survival to Abundance. Financial freedom isn't a lottery ticket or a one-time windfall. It's the reward for steady, consistent choices stacked over years. The truth is, wealth isn't built in weeks or months. It's built in habits. Each time you save instead of spend, invest instead of delay, or hustle instead of give up, you're planting seeds that will grow into something bigger. This chapter isn't about spreadsheets or budgets. It's about hope. It's about showing you what life can look like once you break free from survival mode and step into abundance, where money stops being a daily stressor and becomes a tool to design the life you want. 1. Looking ahead 5 to 10 years. Before diving into tools or techniques, it's important to zoom out and see where all your daily choices are leading. This is where long-term thinking becomes your superpower. Imagine yourself 5 years from now. If you keep applying these principles, saving consistently, avoiding spending traps, investing steadily, where could you be? Small habits repeated daily can create a completely different future. 10 years of small wins stack into big victories. Debts gone, savings built, investments compounding quietly. 10 years of steady steps often outperform one big leap. The long game isn't flashy, but it's powerful. Progress feels slow in the moment, but when you look back, you'll see a path of steady growth that brought you here. By thinking 5 or 10 years ahead, you give yourself permission to act with purpose today. Long-term vision makes consistency easier and keeps you grounded when progress feels slow. 2. Vision exercise. Imagine your life debt-free with savings and flexibility. This section helps you emotionally connect to your future. When you can feel your goals, it becomes easier to commit to them. Picture your bank account with a healthy cushion. Bills stop feeling like threats because you're prepared. Money becomes a tool instead of a source of fear. Picture yourself debt-free. No credit card balances haunting you, no student loans draining you. Every paycheck belongs to you, not some past emergency or impulse. Picture flexibility, saying yes to opportunities that excite you, a trip, a new career path, starting a business, and saying no to anything that drains your energy or blocks your growth. This isn't fantasy. These are the results of the habits you've already begun. Every step you've taken in this book has brought you closer to this reality. Visualization makes your goals real. Once you can imagine a debt-free, flexible life, you begin moving toward it with clarity and motivation. 3. Motivation. Your hard work deserves more than survival. This final topic is about giving yourself credit and giving yourself permission to want more. You've hustled, sacrificed, and made tough choices. Survival has been the focus for so long, but you deserve more than just getting by. Abundance isn't just about more money. It's about more freedom, peace, rest, joy, and choice. Money is simply the tool that helps unlock it. Every step in this book, saving a little, hustling smarter, saying no to spending traps, has been building toward abundance. These aren't random habits. They're bricks in a foundation strong enough to support your dreams. You're not just making ends meet anymore. You're creating a life where money works for you, not against you. Survival was the beginning, not the destination. Your effort deserves a future filled with options, freedom, and dignity, and you're actively building that future now. The long game is worth it. Every small choice you've made, saving, investing, planning, and protecting yourself, has been preparing you for a life of abundance. You've built new habits, new confidence, and a new identity. You're no longer reacting to life. You're shaping it. Now it's time to zoom out even further. In our final section, we'll bring everything together, your mindset, your habits, your systems, your resilience, and show you how it all fits into your new financial story. You're stepping into a future defined not by scarcity, but by possibility. Chapter 14. Your new financial story. You began this journey feeling stuck, stressed, and weighed down by money worries. Maybe debt felt like a shadow following you everywhere, or saving seemed impossible no matter how hard you tried. But through this book, you've learned something powerful. Financial freedom isn't reserved for the wealthy, the lucky, or the gifted. It's built through small decisions, repeated with intention. It's built in the ordinary moments, choosing to save instead of spend, choosing to plan instead of panic, choosing to believe in your ability to change. This final chapter brings everything together. It's your moment to look back at the tools you've learned, the identity you've built, and the path you've started shaping. You're not just leaving this book with knowledge. You're leaving with a new story. You now hold the tools to change your future. Before you started, money may have felt like something that just happened to you. Bills, emergencies, debt, stress. But now, those same areas that used to cause fear are places where you have clarity and control. You now carry practical tools, a new mindset, and the motivation to move forward. You understand how money flows in and out of your life, and you know how to make that flow work for you instead of against you. You know how to budget with freedom, save even on a tight income, build momentum against debt, and invest without fear. These are lifelong skills. Once learned, they stay with you forever. More importantly, you've learned that money isn't your enemy. It's a tool you can master. Money no longer has power over you. You now understand how to direct it towards stability, growth, and opportunity. The tools are in your hands now, and you've proven you know how to use them. Progress over perfection, your new approach to money. Every financial journey includes ups and downs. Some months you'll hit every goal. Others might feel like you're starting over. But your mindset has shifted, and that's what makes the difference. Remember, you don't have to be perfect. Progress, not perfection, creates change. It's not the flawless months that transform your life. It's the consistent ones. Every dollar saved, every debt payment made, and every choice to hustle smarter instead of harder rewrites your future. You're not just moving numbers around. You're reshaping your daily habits, your sense of control, and your long-term possibilities. Your money story is no longer about stress and survival. It's about growth, peace, and possibility. This emotional shift is the foundation of a stable and empowered financial life. You don't have to move perfectly, you just have to keep moving. You are the author of your new financial story. The final truth of your journey is this: you have more power than you realized. You're not a passenger in your financial life anymore. You're the one steering, and you get to choose where you're going next. And here's the truth. You are the author of this story, and the next chapter is abundance. You've already begun writing a different kind of future, one built on clarity, strength, and self-trust. You've shifted from reacting to your circumstances to shaping them intentionally. This is the turning point, the moment survival becomes strategy. What comes next isn't luck. It's the result of every small, steady step you've taken. You've proven that change is possible. Now, abundance becomes the natural next step. Your story isn't ending. It's beginning again on your terms. Final chapter conclusion. The long game is worth it. Every decision you've made, every moment of discipline, every uncomfortable truth faced, every new habit built has been preparing you for a life with more stability, more freedom, and more possibility. What you've planted will grow. What you've learned will guide you, and what you've started will carry you forward. Stay consistent. Keep planting seeds. Keep choosing the version of you who believes change is possible. Your future self is already grateful, and your new financial story has just begun.